probably seen this video on Tuesday the 12th. I had meant to try and have something out earlier than that for you. You will recall, though, that in some of my recent videos, I was very emotional, you know, going back to the one where I was saying, I did one saying we're not the chosen people. That's the title of it. And then there's some other ones if you go back. And certainly one of my last ones, it wasn't the last one, but one of my last ones, I was crying so bad. Remember, I even said at the end of the video, I go, I'll see you guys, I'll be back again when I'm not crying, or something like that. Anyway, just to express there's a lot of emotion on me, and I had said then, I said, I don't know. I said, I didn't know I was holding this much emotion, you know. Well, the truth is I've been in a funk during that and since that, you know. And I really had been in a state of sadness, you know, big time. And I couldn't really place it because I get into those places a lot when I'm overwhelmed with the environment. But this was heavier. So to make a long story short, it wasn't until Monday the 4th. Again, I'm still in that funk. But on that day, I'm in the funk, but for some reason there was this little, like, strip of hope or happiness or something. I don't know how to describe it to you. And I was just going to go and call one of my buddies that I told you guys, his birthday is on the same day as the death of my grandmother. And then it clicked. And I looked it up, and it turns out Monday the 4th of November was the 25th year anniversary of the death of my grandmother, the queen of my entire existence. And the universe was calling me to understand that. And once I understood that, the profound nature of it, then it seemed like the burden was lifted from me, and I began to return to an emotional normal, if you will. But it's 25 years that my grandmother has been gone from the earth, you know. And but yet and still, there's not a day that goes by that I don't quote her, or mention her, or talk to her picture, or something. She's ever constant with me. I'm possessed by her, you know. So, that's, at least I figured that out. In fact, even when I got a hold of my buddy James, I said, man, you know, I shared with him, you know, I've been in a funk, but it wasn't until I was calling you, or just before I was going to call you, that I realized, you know. So, anyway, I'm all better now. This video is going to be kind of all over the place, you guys, because I have things that have been shooting at me from the universe, things that have been coming at me from the environment, and I know that I wanted to speak on some things. Some of them I forgot, then I start speaking them into my memo, so that I could at least try to remember. But, you know, I think the video is probably going to be called T.I., Chris Brown, Kanye West, Gucci Mane, and it'll maybe say something else. Obviously, I don't know what the title of the video is now because I'm actually doing the video right now. See, I'm doing the video right now. I'm actually doing the video. So I don't have that answer. I think the thing that pushed me over the top, finally, was the Chris Brown thing. Because I feel like that the T.I. thing had already was already rumbling out there before Chris. Certainly, it was out there before the Gucci Mane thing. And so in no uncertain order, I just want to address these things and offer what the universe has given me, I'd like to give to you. First, with regard to T.I., I felt compelled to speak on that because I know my people. I also know this devil. And I see what's happening in the media. Everybody's singing the same song. They bring it up and they get to the fact that his sons are having sex. His teenage son is having sex. You see, so it's this false comparison, false equivalent, but most importantly, the distractory item, as I will call it, because it's not an either or. There can be a both and proposition, and this is one of those. So we should deal with this issue of T.I. having his daughter's hymen checked every year. They immediately distract you over here to his son, so the conversation becomes that. So it becomes this war between men and women, and what boys and girls can do, what boys can do, what girls can't do, and as if girls are being held back in some kind of way. But it's also to feed what they maintain in their society, and that is the degradation of women by telling them that their degradation is their empowerment, and it's not. You understand? And alas, this is another strike at that. So that the end result should be, well, his daughter should be able to have sex too. So it doesn't become about this black man trying to protect his daughter. It becomes about, yeah, girl, you should have sex. In fact, I even saw, what did I see? It was Blackish. And they had an episode because the little girl, Diane, had kissed her boyfriend at some little dance they went to for the school. And it was Tracy and Anthony were giving into, well, she is at an age, where she's going to start having sex, as if you automatically do that. You see, again, I always tell you, that which is wicked is what is normal to you. That which is wicked is normal to you, just as it has been prophesied that this would be the case. That which is wicked will seem normal to them, said the Creator. And this is an example of that. Meanwhile, the way of life for the Muslim who submits to what God has ordained says, no, you only get to have sex inside of marriage. That's it. That's it. And everyone under the sound of my voice needs to go and watch the video here on the channel that I did called Black Men Need to Choose the Option of Being Single. And I argue my entire case of why this pathology of introducing sex and girlfriends to boys and girls at a young age throws off their economic trajectory, throws off their educational trajectory, throws off their growth and development as human beings, how that affects their future children. I mean, I go in, all right? So this is on that scale with me in a way because, first of all, I'm one of these people that believes as long as you're my child and you're under my roof, what I say goes. I am the gospel law. My word is biblical. It is divine. It is as if it was revealed on the tablets that came down from Sinai with Moses. You understand what I'm saying? I don't give in to these children's rights and acquiescing because society has changed. Society hasn't changed, just white folks have come up with more shit to pollute humanity and society. That's what it's about. You see, some things, all things from God certainly, are eternal. I don't care what the weather changes or what they doing. No. God's law is like this. Still going. Ain't changed. You don't care about winds and tornadoes and change and no. This is God's word. Forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Infinity ever. So, if this daughter is the one I think it is, you guys know my favorite talk show is The Real. There was a episode quite some time back where Tiny was on the show with this daughter of theirs. She was premiering some new single. She had gotten her eyes done with Tiny. And the way she was up there dressed was completely snatch her off the stage and drag her ass home by her hair, as far as I'm concerned. But there was Tiny sitting there, the proud mother. You see, I bring that to lay foundation for the type of parents they've been and what they are doing. You know, they are Christian folks, which means no submission to God, no way of life, no moral fabric, no moral compass, no code of life. You see, so it's almost miraculous indeed that T.I. would even think this to be this vigilant, you know, because if we lived in a righteous society and if they were indeed raising her the way that God has ordained, there'd be no need to check. But she is that. The tight clothes, the center part, the hair, I mean, all that. She's all of that. So you've produced a child that now you must check. You see? Yes, we should be checking. Yes, damn it, yes. And for me, the boy is not even that significant. And I'll tell you why. Because at any age, doesn't matter, hear this. At any age, don't matter. Boys, men, adults, whatever you want to call them, ain't having sex with no female that don't allow it. You see, I always tell women, you run the world, but you won't get up and do it. You won't get your ass up on your throne and stay there. So you are directly indictable for the degradation of our people because you will not exercise your control, period, and your power. You won't do it. So you've lowered the standard of men, of boys. You see, we're not really having a whole lot of men. You see, we ain't really having that. Because you're not asking or demanding any standards. You're not setting any standards for males. You're not. You're not setting a standard. You're not making any demands on us. So the table has been flipped. You're letting us dictate to you what should be. When you're everything, don't nothing happen without you. Not even our very life. But you will not get your ass up on your throne and stay there. Because righteousness feels like oppression to you. You understand? Just like Massa. Just like him. So this is a problem. Certainly any daughter of mine, there would be no need for a check. But even if I was not a Muslim and living my life according to what the divine has ordained, if I'm T.I., I would be doing the same damn thing. I should also add that any male who cannot name the female anatomy in detail, all of its parts, is not eligible to have sex with any woman, even if that's his wife. Period. You understand what I'm telling you? This is a problem. And I bet you there's millions of brothers that didn't even know what a hymen was and still don't know. You see? Haven't Googled it, hadn't looked it up, hadn't done anything. Hadn't done anything. But what also disturbs me about the issue is that whatever T.I. did or didn't do, I object to white commentary on the issue because this is a family issue. And whether it's this or any other thing, we don't raise our children the way they raise their children. You understand? Any of you that went and watched the video attachments, links that I put on my last video, you would know that even more clearly. You understand? That's just one area. But I'm just trying to say we don't raise our children like they raise their children. You see, their children, my experience on earth has always been that they have always been more free roaming, more disrespectful, no rules. And it's just, just anything goes. And they've, over time, I've seen it happen, certainly since the late 1980s, early 1990s, where they are seducing you into that too. More and more increasingly, I hear African people say, I just don't spank my kids. Well, we need to spank your ass then for that. Because it's like even the Christian scripture says, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. That's the damn truth. Children have to have a sense of authority and boundaries and limits, consequences and repercussions. You understand? There must be. Otherwise, you produce adults that that don't understand that there are limitations and rules and repercussions and boundaries. They understand it because you never gave them that at home. You see? You never gave them that. But y'all real good to make sure you train them how to be a good slave when master pulls them over, you see, in a traffic stop. And you teach them exactly the opposite of what you should be teaching them. Instead of teaching them how to be submissive and be a willing sacrifice, teach them how to fight and save and defend their own damn life. That's what you should be doing, you see. So, and I understand this girl is 18, fine, she's 18, then you can get to stepping. When you're paying your own bills, then we don't need to do that anymore. But as long as you're under my roof, if that's the way I see fit to make sure that things are intact, then that's what's going down. Now, I need to say this, because I don't watch any of their reality shows and all this stuff, so I don't know anything. But I would venture to say that if there's a situation where they're letting her be the typical unsubmissive, godless life that most of y'all live and have been seduced into, where she's having boyfriends already. Maybe she's been having boyfriends since she's an early teen. There's even more reason to check. But at the same time, I still maintain there is no need at all for girls and boys to be having boyfriends and girlfriends. No need for it. For what? How many of you, on the sound of my voice, dated since you were in puberty? And you don't remember none of them people? And if you do, you definitely ain't married to them. So what was it for? What's it for? We don't have time to just be playing house. This is the time in which, especially our boys, but our girls too, but certainly our boys should be finding themselves, defining themselves as men, learning to be independent and to survive on their own. You'll go and watch that video. As I say in that video, my whole point is that most of the time our boys go from their mama's skirt straight to a sister's skirt. There's no time in between where they find themselves. They learn responsibility, what makes them laugh, what makes them cry, get in touch with their feelings, set goals, learn how to manage money. I can go on and on and on. And I call it that time the Fortress of Solitude. You'll go and watch the video, you'll find out. It's a brilliant piece. So, in short, I am on board with this. And let us not even look to the fact that the son is doing whatever because it's all bad. But just because it's all bad doesn't mean you can't save something. You know what I'm saying? You junked a brand new car because it was an accident, but you just bought new rims and tires for that car and they good. So you take the rims and tires off and the stuff that's good and then you let it go to the junkyard. This is essentially what I'm saying here. So it might be all bad, but yes, you protect that girl. And I also have to at least consider that somewhere in this there is disdain from whiteness that a black man is even daring to do to protect his child. Because they're okay if she comes out in Kool-Aid colored hair and tight this and tight that. And if she's got 50 boyfriends and she's acting like a savage. They're okay if their father's letting, but the moment, oh, we're going to, no, he's trying to make sure that she's keeping her chastity. Then they got something to say? Nah. And like I say, they don't get nothing to say. It's a family issue, butt out. You understand me? Butt out. Butt out. So I stand with T.I. I stand with T.I. And what my people need to do is you need to start, first of all, you got to install righteousness in your being. It must be the battery power, the force behind every single thing you think, say, and do, from day to night, from birth to death. Because when you get into that coordinate, then that's from the place from which you will think and speak. Don't join the chorus of thought processes that have been given to you. Form your own, but let it, and don't even let it be your own. You always hear me say, I'm concerned about righteousness and truth. My own opinions and feelings and philosophies be damned. I don't even want me anywhere in it. That's where you got to get to. This response comes from that place. So if you're not from that place, then you don't have any objection to my response. You're not allowed. You've not earned it. You're not qualified. You see? And alas, not just even with this, there needs to be more of a concerted effort to hawk over our girls even more. But that's just one component. We can't just hawk over our girls and protect them. We also got to reinstall what used to be some cultural norms. And that is, we need to tell our boys, and I'm going a step further, we need to tell our boys, you're not engaging with the girls. So if the girls don't even have to be on notice, or the father don't have to be checking, because we would have reinstalled this idea that there is no sex outside of marriage. You see, everybody wants the prize without the work. You see, you want to play house and have children, but you won't get married. I don't have to get my life together and be able to support an entire family. I don't want to do that. I just want to have the fun. You see, as my grandmama used to say, you put the cart before the horse. It's just like our Christian folks. You've been sold this idea that you don't have to do any work. You just confess the name of Christ, which has no power at all. You just confess the name of Christ, and therefore you're going to heaven. And you're not. You're not. You're not. There's no power in the name of Jesus. Newsflash. Meanwhile, there's a video here on the channel called Zamzam water. And I prove unequivocally and unarguably that the name of Allah has physical power over creation. Physical power. Another video, I showed you the animals before they're being slaughtered. They're all out of control. As soon as the brother starts reciting the name of Allah, they submit as if they've taken a Valium. You understand what I'm telling you? I brought you, there's another video on the channel. The cat that will not walk on the Quran won't do it. They put down other books and they're waving food and moving it around, and the cat is focused on it and he's stepping all over the book. But they keep that same routine up when they put the Quran down, and not as so much as a hair will he touch this book with. I'm showing you. I'm showing you in real life, in real time. You understand? There's no power in the name of Jesus, everybody. Now, damn it, there's just not. You should be able to prove that for your damn self, you see. Because if there was power in it, we'd be in a totally different predicament right now as a people, as much as y'all call on Jesus. And I've told you, this is the only place on earth where that doctrine dominates the majority of our people. Only in this nation, 86% of our people are under that anesthesia. It's a direct hand-me-down from 1821 from slavery. That's what they gave you. That's what they gave you. That's what they gave you, 1821. Meanwhile, there's no place else on the earth where that dominates our people. Indeed, I've shared with you, and you can look it up. I will tell you, sweep behind the claims that I make on anything. That's it. Meanwhile, most of our people on planet Earth, African people, most African people on this planet are Muslims. No matter where we exist and breathe, we are Muslims. Not talking about the Nation of Islam people. I already told you that. They're something else. All right, they're not Muslims. All right, we love them, and they are honorable and all that, but they're not Muslims. All right. So there's a direct tie between that being given to you and everything that you do now. Your character, the society, all of it. This society is not interested in righteousness and is not interested in God and the divine. You understand? I told you these people are an anomaly to all creation. So I have doubt of whether or not they are created by God. Because they are an anomaly. When I look at all of creation, all of it has, all of it lines up. They're the anomaly. Something there doesn't fit, you see. So, damn it, T.I. is right, you see. And not only that, but I could go a lot further because, you know, you see how our girls and women dress as Muslims. Nothing to distract you. Nothing to distract you. You're not going to be walking up to the Muslims and say, yeah, baby, yeah. Because there's no need for it. There's nothing that provokes that. But your daughter going there with center parts and bundles and tight this and tight that and cut out this and cut out that, you're asking for that behavior. And they've already been programmed for that. You've been programmed to dress that way. So it creates its own fire. You see what I'm saying? Yes, damn it, T.I. is right again. I said it. I also wanted to deal with this Chris Brown issue because all of these really are microaggressions, white microaggression upon blackness, you know, to some degree, as I see it. Chris Brown, once again, represents this characteristic about white people and their society and their character, that once they say somebody is bad, everybody's supposed to then say that person is bad and alienate them or whatever. Well, I'm the exact opposite. Anything they say is bad, I absolutely fall in love with and just practically worship. You see, they always want their enemy to be your enemy. They say the North Korean leader is bad, so you're supposed to think he's bad too. And how dare you go there, Dennis Rodman and the basketball players and anybody else who goes there. We say they're bad, even though you don't know them and you don't talk to them. We say they're bad, and you're supposed to take that. Nah, because I know how much you've lied and continue to lie on my people. I know the deceptive devil that you are, so why should I believe you when you tell me something about somebody else? Why? Why? You see, that was what you do. And now in this culture now, where it's this new phenomena of dragging up what people have done 50 years ago. Well, I'm cool with that. Let's drag up their stuff too. Instead, they always want to separate themselves. Well, I wasn't alive then. I didn't do anything. I didn't own slaves. I wasn't there. I didn't do it. I wasn't born yet. Well, you're still guilty. Still guilty. Because there are Arabs and other Muslims that were not born at the time of 9/11, yet they are still being profiled in airports and being seen as the highest potential terrorist. But they weren't even born. You see? So we're not going to have a double standard. So we will drag up their stuff too. And not only that, you always make projections or to determine what someone's performance or character will be or response to anything based on what they've done in the past. What your expectation is on what they've shown. go apply for Harvard today. They want to see your grade. You're gonna know you weren't at my school. I'm showing up today, and you just take what I tell you today. They want your damn grades. You go to apply for a job, they want a resume. Want to know what you did in the past. This tells us who you are and what your propensity is. So if there's anybody whose past needs to be held to them, especially as they continue to be the same as they've always been in their past, it's these people. So don't give me that was a long time ago, but you exist now. And here is what we see as the characteristic of people that look like you. Murdering, lying savages. We have to have that information now. We have to. I bring that because the way they're treating Chris Brown now is to continue to hold him for this Rihanna thing. That's when it really started. You know, and he's had some other behavior since that, but the precipitous of that, quite frankly, because they just wouldn't let up off his ass. So I stand with Chris Brown now and forever, because they had an anonymous call the night before his yard sale, allegedly. Anonymous. Somebody saying he's bringing merchandise to the property for the yard sale. Well, why is that a problem? But, of course, in their devilish intent, which is all they ever have, is to imply that he's just getting some merchandise to sell. Well, being superior and intellectual, I don't make that deduction. The deduction I make is, well, Chris Brown is a young guy who's traveled all over the place, has a lot of money, and usually when you're having a yard sale, it's because you got stuff you want to get rid of. So it's not unthinkable to me that Chris Brown probably had some stuff in storage someplace too. Let's bring the stuff from storage, you see, to make a part of this yard sale. But they didn't think of that, you see. Because if it's a black man, it must be something bad. So we don't believe this alleged anonymous call. And then code enforcement shows up the night before for an hour and a half just to basically harass him. They claim he needed a permit, which I saw one lawyer who said, no, not true. He didn't need a permit for this damn yard sale. Didn't need it. That was a lie. Then they tried to villainize the thing, the way the media covered it, you know, and then after it's over, no doubt a white heifer claims that one of the items that she bought at the yard sale had a thing of marijuana in it. Who believes that? You see, no, we must always hold them to 1619, from 1619 to right now. We make no distinction between the 1619 and right now. The same person exhibiting the same characteristics, same personality traits, same intentions and modus operandi. Same. I don't care if the bitch was born last year. It's the same. You see what I'm saying? The same. The same. Damn it, the same. You understand me? So we need to be clear about that. You understand? Because like I say, if we're going to, this thing now of dragging up what people have done 20 years ago, I always say what's good for the goose shall be good for the gander. It shall be. You understand me? It shall be. It shall be. It shall be. Because like I say, they only exercise that for everybody except for them. You know. Everybody else, they want to drag up what they've done since they were born, but not them. Well, I reject that. You know what I'm saying? We're going to indict them. We're going to indict everybody. You know. But again, it's this whole, they decided Chris Brown is bad, so therefore everybody must think that. You know. just the way they did with Michael Jackson. We declare him bad, therefore he is. And no, he's not. You see, and like I say, anything they hate, I love. You understand me? Don't tell me Sheikh Osama bin Laden perpetrated 9/11 and he's some terrorist and he's a terrorist and he's this and a third. Well, I haven't met him. I didn't have tea with them, so I don't know. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? They tell me Hitler was a bad guy. I never met him. You see what I'm saying? I've considered the source too. I also always tell you that the source, whether it's a person, a video, or an article, it doesn't matter. Somebody telling you something, who's telling you this? Let's look at them. What are the person that's telling you this, or writing this, or reporting this? Look at them. Who are they? So you can determine if the information they bring you is trustworthy. You understand? And so in their case, it's not trustworthy. You must check everything. And what they've shown from their past is anything they say is highly likely to be a lie of some type. So you have to reject it out of hand at first. You see what I'm saying? Before you even get to anything else. I'm saying it's going to be even killed. You understand what I'm telling you? It's going to be that. It's going to be that. It's going to be that. That ties me into... So this was picking with Chris. Picking. It turned into an international event where the dude was just having a freaking yard sale. Okay, it's not like me or yours because he's Chris Brown. So what? It's still a yard sale. You understand? Gucci Mane. This issue was more white evil. And I will make my case for that. Because, first of all, white folks are always making sure they're nosy and watching what we're doing. Even though we don't do anything. You see what I'm saying? They're killing the environment and taking down humanity and doing it all. But they got to watch us so close. But my point is that there's no doubt that wherever this event is, that this event was that he was attending or hosting or whatever, they knew in advance what that was, and I'm sure all of them in that area knew what was going on, And so, I'm on the wrong thing, my bad. And so, when he pulls up in a damn Ferrari, and they say that one of his people went to move the car, and instead of parking it back behind this club that they were at, they parked it behind there, but they weren't the lot that they thought the lot that they parked it at was part of the club, when really that part of the parking lot was part of CVS pharmacy. That allegedly the manager at CVS, who knew about the whole goings on, he somehow had left, and another manager who came on and didn't know anything, and that's why they ended up calling the tow truck. Nah. You want to tell me my Honda was parked back there and they towed it? I could see you. You feel me? But this is a fucking Ferrari. I don't know how much a Ferrari costs. But you don't see a Ferrari every single day. I don't. You understand what I'm telling you? And I live next door to Oprah and stuff. So that's not even, because I just live right down the street from Oprah and stuff. So that's out. Anyway, so my point is, you don't see a damn Ferrari every day. So it demands, when you see it, I'll give you another scenario so you really understand where I'm at. You drive around your city, you had to go out late at night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, a weeknight, and you go past your local Walmart or something, or McDonald's. You see my Honda parked there, you would notice it, and just like there was a car over there. You see a Ferrari sitting out there, you're like, whoa, there's a Ferrari sitting over there. It causes something else now. Because that's a lot of money. People don't just leave that. I would assume the owner's somewhere near, or something. Like you go into a different train of thought than you would as if it was just a Honda. You understand what I'm telling you? So I bring that to say that, and they knew there's a club right there. So a person who wasn't interested in evil would have seen that and go, well, that must be somebody that's at that club over there. That's clearly going on. Because it wasn't like it was after, this wasn't like the place was closed down. It was going on. Like people were there partying and doing it all. So it wasn't like it was just parked on your CVS lot and you didn't make the connection that, oh, it must be somebody that's there. They knew it. This was deliberate white evil. Deliberate. You understand? Because we know ain't nobody black would have called the damn police on the damn Ferrari. We don't do that. Or a tow truck on a damn Ferrari. We wouldn't have done that. Would have done it. Brother might try to steal it, but that's a different thing, though. That's different than calling it a tow truck, though. See what I'm saying? So, this was a deliberate act. And so, Gucci Mane should sue them under the earth. Not only for damages to the vehicle, but a whole list of other stuff that I'm sure his attorney could imagine. You understand? But this was white microaggression. You see? White microaggression. Aggression. You see? And no doubt, the tow truck driver came out there and was, and of course, he already has evil installed in him, so he wasn't careful, and it was a whole thing, but it was a collusive act. Collusive. No question about it. So, there's that. Then, Kanye West needs to sat his ass down. I tell you guys, I lay at night sometime and I just ask God to kill people off. Make it so this person just dies off. Can't you just destroy this person? Can't you just destroy? And the list is endless of people, because there are people who, no matter what, they're going to just exist to do evil. The concept of righteousness, even the heart space of pursuing righteousness, is something that they don't even. It's not even in their realm. It's nowhere in their. They're nowhere on that page at all. Whoopi Goldberg's fake, transient-looking ass. She was near death recently, or was it earlier this year? She was out for weeks on The View because she was near death, and when she came back, the doctors said how close she was to death. I forget what her issue was. And she came back, she's doing the exact same shit she's always been doing. Still hateful, still evil. Die off. Like, even if you're evil, you would think once you have a brush with death that that should just, like, what do you think? But, and I don't even think she's a religious person at all, but we'll just claim she's a Christian. So, once you think that somebody else already paid the bill for you, then you're not going to treat it the same as if you would as if you had to earn it your damn self. You see, this is the most dangerous lie that exists about Christianity, is that Christ died for your sins when it's nowhere in the book. No, the man never uttered it. No Christian can show me where Christ said, I came to save man, to die for all of mankind. Never said it. Conversely, and exactly opposite, we have him saying, I came only to the lost, I only came to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. I did not come to no damn body else. Nobody. Go watch the video I have out here on the channel saying that Jesus was sent only to African people. Jesus was sent only to black people, because that's what he was. Black people. For that time. He wasn't sent to save all the world and down the cross for everybody. He never said that, and nor was that his mission at all. Nobody else can claim him. Nobody. Except for African people. We're the only ones who can claim him. And he did not come to die for our sins. He came to put our black asses back on track and to proclaim the good news of the one who would come after him. That's what he came for. See? But you don't like that story, and neither does Massa, because that puts responsibility on you as a human being and as an individual. No, I like the part where I just get to be a freeloader and do whatever I want, and I still go to heaven. Can we bring that part back? Can you guys? Can we get that part? Can we? No. Jesus ain't died for your ass. You understand? He don't know you. He don't love you. He didn't die for you, and he's not checking for you. Period. That's the hard, cold truth. And that's even according to your own damn scripture. You understand? So this is a problem. You understand me? But this Kanye, he's a born-again Christian now. Make me vomit. In fact, I'm going to need my punch for this. Let me pause, y'all. Okay, hopefully that went without a hitch. Anyways, they're okay if Kanye, or anybody else quite frankly, but we're speaking about Kanye, as long as he got him a non-black wife, having ambiguous children, acting a fool, going up to see Trump, proclaiming himself to be God. In fact, he said he's, what did he say? He's the greatest human artist of all time. That made me sick, and I had to be rushed to the hospital and put on a ventilator. Alright? They're okay with all of that. And so this Christianity falls directly into that. You know, that he's a born-again Christian. He's promoting religion. But the moment he starts trying to speak the truth and promote a way of life and speak firmly and in unison with Africanness and African voices, they will have a problem. Just like when he had his sanity and he had the balls to say on international television when he was standing up there when Hurricane Katrina was going on, George Bush don't care about black people. That was how you use your fame, Kanye. You see, that was perfect. That's when he came on my radar. I didn't know who he was. Didn't know who he was before that. But I saw a black face speaking truth and being fearless and didn't give a damn. And that was enough to earn my damn grace. You understand? But he's lost it. So now, and this is the most dangerous thing you could perpetuate and promote to our people, because that has done and will never do anything for our people. If it was capable of that, we would see the return on that right by now. You'd think so. 1821, when they gave you the vomit, till now, you'd think you see some kind of return on that. Oh, we're in this particular state of elevation and advantage now because of this Christian vomit. It has given nothing to you but despair. But the thing that I take issue most with it is that it has sucked the character out of my people. You have no way of life, no code of life. Righteousness and holiness is not first on your list. You understand? And anything goes. And they've seduced you into a lifestyle that is absolutely antithetical to what God has ordained and demands from you as a human being and as his creature. You understand? They're seducing you right into the glorious gate of hellfire after this life. Seducing you right up to the gate. Right up to the gate. You understand? Because if he was out there promoting Islam, oh, they would have a problem. Excuse me. I know this to be true. You know it too. That would be a problem. You see? No, that's connected to God. We can't have that. He'd be on a terrorist watch list, and you could just imagine anything you want to imagine. You see? So he's a clown, a buffoon, and a fool, and I'm over it. Meanwhile, there's a brother down in Texas. Rodney, I think his name is. Rodney Reed. Or Robbie Reed. Scheduled to be executed in like within a few days. Like 10 days or something like this. 8 or 10 days. Everybody and their mother is reaching out. Even Oprah. No matter what we want to say about her fat ass. But even Oprah has petitioned for them to stop this execution. Because it's so clear that this dude didn't do it. The raping and murder of some white heifer. I mean, you can only be a devil and a demon if you ignore that and you just, I mean, she ain't the only one. It's her. I forget all the celebrities now, but not just her, not just celebrities, but there's something like 1 million plus people that have signed a petition and all of this. Who do you have to be? Listen, if I'm the governor, if 10 people came to my office and said, there's questions about this, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to look at that then. But I'm a human, and I have a soul, so, and I'm not a demon, so, take that for what you want, so I don't know. But I'm also was a little put off by it because they show this person that was murdered, and they show him now. Because he admitted that there was a consensual, intimacy that they had, and they'd had an encounter, like a couple days before she was murdered, and so his semen was found in her. But all the forensic specialists have said, based on timelines and everything, and with science, they know that their language is, it's impossible for him to have killed her. That's their language. That's their language. Not, it's probably, it's impossible is what the language is. But here's the thing that I was striving to, is that I need them to show a picture of him from then. They show this young picture of her, and obviously we wouldn't have a picture of her now because she was killed in 1980 something. And I feel it was 1986. And we just see him now. Show him then, so we can see that he was attractive and desirable. You understand what I'm telling you? This all matters, everybody. It matters. It's a little off subject, but it's not, because it's germane to it connects to what I just shared with you. When my father was living, rest his soul, and this year was the 10-year anniversary of my father's death, by the way. Anyway, we had, in one of our discussions, one of our banterings back and forth, I was making the argument to my father that they need to colorize all of the footage from the Civil Rights era. And he was pushing back, like, nah, he wasn't trying to hear it. And I was trying to tell him, I was like, Dad, no, you don't understand. Like, there's a whole generation of people now who don't even know there was such thing as black and white television. They only know color. And when you show them these black and white images, it seems distant and other and from a different time that you're not connected to and can't even, that's just images. It doesn't have any meaning or connection. And he wouldn't hear me. But the universe intervened. Because maybe the next day or a couple of days after that, certainly within that same week, there was an episode of one of these CSIs, or I think it's CSI. Or what's that one? Dun dun. These are the cases of so dun dun. Might have been Law and Order. Don't quote me. It was one of them shows. But they had a storyline where this kid had been kidnapped. And somehow he got away. And they have him now at the police station. And they're trying to get information out of him so they can go and probably catch the guy that did it. And she goes, tell me what happened, And he's like, I just remember waking up, I was on the couch, and I turned, the TV was on. She goes, was it in black and white or in color? And the kid looks up at her and goes, it was in color, what else is there? I immediately dive for the phone and call my dad. I go, why would they write that unless they know what I know? Somebody wrote that for that kid to say that. I knew I was right already. I didn't need no confirmation. I was just trying to get him to understand the disconnect. You understand? It's a disconnect. So that's what I'm saying about this guy. It's important that they show pictures of him from then, what he looked like then, so we could see he was attractive and desirable. Because sadly, I don't think white people are able to. They'll see her face, and probably a lot of black folks too, but certainly white folks will see her face and then see him now and just how he looks now, and that's the guy that did it type thing, you know. That's not what he looked like at all. And I think it's important. Looks matter. They matter. They matter. Damn it, they matter. So I'm over it. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to play out with that case, you know. He should be let go, you know. There's so many of us that are in prison for crimes we did not commit. White folks always claim they want closure. They're obsessed with that. They always say that. Black folks, we're used to not getting closure on shit, so we move on. But they always claim they want closure, yet for them closure is and has always been just any black face, and we feel like we got our closure. You know, there was a PBS Frontline documentary that I saw years ago, back in like early 2000. It was called No Ordinary Crime. This credit union had been robbed by 3 or 4 brothers. And this one lady was shot and she lost her eye. She survived. I think some other people were killed and blah, blah, okay, fine. Alright, and so when it came to trial, whatever, make a long story short, Jedi, the guy that did it ends up coming forward because his girlfriend had testified when he came to her house right after, da 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 da. Anyways, and she convinced him, you need to go forward and turn yourself in because this other guy is in jail. He comes forward, presents himself. They're there interviewing her, and they were breaking away to show the prosecutor a fucking southern-ass racist white devil. I think we got the right guy. I think they're just never wrong. Even when they're wrong, they still have to be right. And there she was smoking her cigarette. They had her somewhere outside. She goes, I know it was Danny DeLoach that shot me. And they're like, bitch, it wasn't him. Like, it wasn't him. I know it was. No, you don't know. Because in her mind, it was a black face, and so therefore that was the dude. And by the way, she can never be wrong or misidentified. She's white. Of course she's right. So she knows it was Danny DeLoach that shot her. Evidence be damned. Facts be damned. The truth be damned. She's white, therefore she is right. You need to get that through your head. Huh? I'm over it. So, I don't know what's going to happen to this brother, but I don't expect much. Because also the governor down there is a Republican, which is the highest echelon of white evil. You see, there's levels. You see, all evil, but certainly there's levels. And once you're Republican and a governor, that's a pinnacle of evil right there. There it is. Kanye, T.I., Chris Brown. There was another one, y'all. There's another brother. Kanye, T.I., Chris Brown. I feel like there was somebody else. Well, I'll say this. I had a thought. The universe gave me something. because I think it might have been Wendy that was saying, Ray J, who makes me sick, where's my punch? Wanted to petition the Orange Tulip to release Suge Knight. Going back to what I've said to you already about, you know, how white people always want, whatever they say the enemy is, they want you to hate that person too. That's what they sold us with Suge Knight. We have our own feelings about Suge Knight, but that is a family issue. But on the bigger stage, this is what the universe gave me. As certainly, I've changed my position on Suge Knight, and I'm going to share that with you now. Because they're the ones that killed Tupac. Do we really think they care about Suge Knight? Nah, that doesn't make any sense. So what makes sense, Jedi? What makes sense is that Suge Knight was essentially doing what Berry Gordy did with Motown. Like, you look at Motown, anybody who was hot was at Motown. If you weren't at Motown, you weren't hot. You just weren't. And so Suge Knight was putting everybody under the same umbrella. Fast forward, we would own hip-hop probably today. Plus, he wasn't afraid to be ruthless. You understand? And sometimes you just need that. Sometimes you need to be ruthless. You just need to get things done. You see? And I'm a big believer in sometimes you have to make people do the shit that's good for them. I've said that. I'm going to say that till I'm my last breath, because it's just the damn truth. Sometimes, sadly, you have to force people to do things that they should be doing or that's good for them. So, they would know more than we know. But I contend there's probably something Suge Knight was doing, had done, or was intending to do that they saw as a threat. And like I say, on the surface, I could see this being it, because we would have owned hip-hop, and that would have shut out whites, you see, from owning it. That would shut out white labels. So, I think I would love to do a deeper look to find out what is known about his goings-ons and what he was doing. You know, don't give me these little frivolous, violations and stuff like that to end him up in jail. What's the big picture? What's the big picture? What's the big picture, you see? Plus, he was turning their own game on them. He had police under his wing doing what he was calling the shots to do, you see? And that's usually the other way around. So, I changed my whole thinking based on that about Suge Knight. And I can feel that same way and still criticize and not believe his fat ass as to what went on with Tupac. When he claimed he had been shot, but he was just grazed, barely, and, I don't get paid to solve homicides. I don't get paid. Okay, your fat ass don't get paid to eat what your fat ass do. So I can still be at odds with him over that and still hold this point of view. I'm not going to be on the Suge Knight hating bandwagon. Not going to do it no more. Not going to do it. The other thing I wanted to share with you is, because I got to keep driving this home, everybody. First of all, The View is diabolical. Those are at least 3 of them. Because I'm trying to give Sonny a little bit of a pass. But the other 3 are nothing but diabolical bitches. And indeed, they are a setback for women because they are doing the bidding, no doubt, of men. No question about it. I've been watching them with their Joe Biden propaganda. They will not mention the name of Bernie Sanders. The other day they did something like 20 minutes on politics and the polls and who was up and who was down. Would not mention Bernie Sanders. Would not mention him. Even when they would talk about polls where Joe Biden was behind and he's not doing well in Iowa and this and third. You know, Elizabeth Warren is coming in second. She's coming in second behind who, bitch? They will not mention Bernie Sanders. They won't. And I'm going to do a whole piece on, in fact, my next video, God willing, I'm going to be tying together for you. Because I tell you guys, I'm obsessed with the Kennedy assassination. Even though I wasn't alive when it happened, I don't know what age I was when I learned that what I learned in school and in history books was not, that wasn't the end all be all. But whenever that transformation took place for me, I've been obsessed. And therefore I'm an expert on it. And for me, that I'm also obsessed with it, not only just on its own merit, but also where it sits in history as it relates to the trajectory of this asshole of Satan that they call America. To me, that moment is changed everything. You understand? And why it's important for me to bring it in my next video is because this year, the anniversary falls on the exact day. Because Kennedy was killed on a Friday. This year, it's a Friday. November 22nd is on a Friday. So, but I want to tie that to current day politics because it's just, you'll see what I'll lay out in that piece. You'll see. But I want to say this about them on this. And that is, Joy Behar, who is a white bitch and has no credential to speak on behalf of African people, while that transient circus is sitting there, and she was saying, because they're making a concerted effort to speak directly to black viewers. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Because can't nobody be president unless we say so. That's real. And she goes, and black people, African American people, they know that the most important thing is to beat Trump. They know winning is the most important thing. They know it. Trying to drill that into your pathetic, non-independent thinking ass minds. You see what I'm saying? Because sadly, there's not enough of me. You understand? I'm the only one cut from this cloth. Sadly. You see what I'm saying? But they are playing on that, and then trying to embrace themselves also to black women, especially black women, when Biden is not the fucking pick. He just is not. He cannot win. He cannot win. And they've already started the fight between what Trump is going to do to him already. So even if he won, it's still more trash. But what's most important, what you must keep in mind, is it's not about winning. It's about winning. And a win only is a win if the Democrat is elected and then that Democrat is someone who's now going to do something, that we get something. We don't want to just beat Trump, so what? That means nothing. We need somebody who then is going to say, I beat him and now we're over all y'all bullshit. A new day has come. And the only person that is has the skill to do that and has the record showing, again, going back to what you've done in the past, we know what you're going to do now. For 40 years, Bernie Sanders has been saying and doing the same damn thing. Period. He's the only one that upsets the entire status quo if he's elected. They're very nervous about a Bernie Sanders victory. And I didn't realize it was 6:15 in the morning. I just happened to notice, I said, do I see daylight? I can't. Anyway, They're diabolical. They're diabolical. This little alphabet from Indiana, Indiana, Pete Alphabet, no chance. Black folks is not going to vote for a gay candidate. It's just not going to happen. It just won't happen. Because as I say, no matter what they do or think, the fact of the matter is we're not all the same. You understand? African people are a different people than them. And this is historically anti-African. I don't care what they preach in this asshole of the devil, this incubator of evil and ill repute and sin. The fact of the matter is, homosexuality has always been something that is anti-African. It's not promoted. You understand? Africans across the world understand that, yes, there are gay black people. However they got that way, whatever. I contend they're born that way. Doesn't matter. That's all fine. We're not oblivious to that, but it's still not something we've ever elevated or give anything special. We just don't do that. We just don't. You know, you'll remember the gay people were all up in arms after Obama won because they had an initiative on the ballot. I think it might have been gay marriage. And they thought, well, black people are going to vote for Obama and they're going to vote for this. We voted for Obama and did not vote for that, and they were pissed off. White gay people. Because anytime they're talking about gay people, they're only talking about white people. When they talk about women's issues, they're talking about white women. They're never talking about you. I don't care what the issue is. They're never talking about you. You need to always keep that in mind. They're not talking about you. They're not. They're not. They're not. They're not. So, we need to be clear about that. So, he doesn't have a chance in hell. You know, thank God for David Axelrod, who had him on his show and was interviewing him in the same auditorium or whatever it was where he announced his candidacy. And David Axelrod said, he goes, you know, you had a pretty good turnout here. He said, but I couldn't help notice that you didn't have any African Americans in your crowd in a city that said he gave the percentage of how many African people are in his city. Like, black folks ain't even showing up for you at your damn announcement or in your rallies. Like, you're not the winner, dude. You don't have a chance. Now they're framing it as though it's between him and Elizabeth Warren. He even said, I just see the race as a two-way race. So you forget, again, anything but mention Bernie. These people will drive this fucking country into the ground, everybody. I tell you, they don't give a damn about humanity. They don't give any damn about God. And nothing to do with righteous and morality. You think that's from these people, you are in a fantasy land. And I have ruby slippers I'd like to sell you that have magical powers. I'm over it. 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 Anyways. Last thing I want to talk about is Amanda Seales, who is my second wife. She was guest hosting for a full week on The Real. And they need to get rid of Lonnie's fat ass and put Amanda up there. Because then we finally have real black representation. You see what I'm saying? We can't count on Tamara to represent us because she's with a white man. You ain't really know, sister. Jeannie is Vietnamese. She does a fantastic job of representing her culture and her people and her family, and I'm proud of her, and I'm not even Vietnamese. I like, you go girl. You feel me? Adrienne Bailon does a fantastic job of representing Latinos and the culture. I'm proud of her, and I'm not even a Latino. I'm proud of her. I'm proud for their people that they have. I'm here for it, you feel me? And we got fat ass Lonnie, who is nothing but a takedown of the culture. And Amanda sit up there right next to her, showed a glaring contrast between the two. She tried to step up a little bit on some things when Amanda was there. And there was a couple times Amanda had to look at her and be like, nah, sis, nah, and shut her down. Like, nah, you just on the wrong side of this, you know. And interestingly enough, it's usually Jeannie and Adrian, when it's something that has to do with our issues, they're the ones that they're saying the things you think her fat ass should be saying. And they're really invested in it, and you could tell it's really from a sincere place. And she sits up there like she's just the Whoopi Goldberg. That's all she is. But Amanda, I bring her also, I mention her now because she was talking about being denied entrance and then thrown out of a black Emmy party. Apparently when they have the Emmy parties, you know, they have the normal ones, but then they have one that's been established by black folks, and that's the one you go to, and you can just kind of like let your hair down and be yourself, you know, and because it's ours. But she was denied entrance by a white bitch, you see. But the picture is bigger because when we look at the pathology, we learn that it was some black heifer, Issa Rae's manager or publicist or something, that doesn't like Amanda, has never liked her since the day she met her. I think it's a light-skinned girl thing, you know. But she's never liked Amanda. And she's the one that didn't want her there. And apparently told, you know. But all the other folks that was there didn't know that. And when they saw her being physically accosted, nobody was there for her rescue. Nobody came to assist or to help. I didn't have to know nothing. I see some white bitch touching my sister or even getting rowdy with her. And we had a black event. I'm going to handle her. I'm not going to just go by. I'm going to be in somebody's face going, what is this? What's happening? What? You see? And my heart broke for her because she talked about how then there was some black dude that came out with reinforcements, and then the white guy came in and physically bumped her. And she said it took everything in her existence not to physically retaliate. I know that feeling. Because she has to make a deduction at that moment. She could have gone forward if she knew she had the support of her people. But at this point, you're dealing with this devil and your sellout ass people. That's a hurtful place to be in. I don't know what hurts worse than that. So in that moment, then it just becomes about self. Because her, me, and anybody like us is one trigger away from something you don't want to see. Hear me. One trigger away. One event. One something. One tick. One. Because we've had it. And we're always fighting the good fight. And what I love about Amanda is no matter where she at, the struggle continues. I'll never see her silence herself or edit herself. She's just like me. Like, I don't care where I'm at or what I'm doing, the struggle continues. I am it. This is what it's going to be. I love that about her. I love that about her. I love that about her. Her whole existence is in defiance. And that's the only way to exist as an African person in this damn asshole of Satan. I always say the happy Negro is the ignorant Negro and dangerous to the rest of us. You content. Oh, wait, you content. Let me do something else because you content. So I need to. You see, we don't got time for no happy, content Negroes. We just don't have time for it. We don't. Because I always tell you, knowledge equals action. So when you hold knowledge of the environment and self, your enemy, your environment, your condition, you're different. Your whole walk through your daily routine is different than someone who's trying to play that damn kumbaya bullshit. You're different. You're different. And that's what I love about her. I love that about her. I'm telling you, that's wife material right there. That's wife material. Because I always tell you, I know that I am going to have in a wife, I need her to be as militant and as passionate and determined and fearless as me. I can't have no kumbaya peacemaker next to me. I just can't have that. I can't have that. Can't have that. Okay? I need a sister that's like, yeah, and then some more stuff. You see? That's what we need. That's what we need. That's what we need. I love her. I love her. I love her. She's not afraid to tell it. Not afraid to tell it. And you want my respect? That's the quickest way to get it. Be among those that aren't afraid to tell it. And you have my utmost respect. You know. Anyways, I wanted to speak on those things, you guys. There's some other things that I wanted to speak on, but I needed to move this in now because these also form some sort of a pattern to watch right now, because all these are in the headlines and in the news cycle all at the same time. Kanye, Chris, T.I., somebody else, man. Anyway, they're all in the same thing, you know. And why? Why? I always tell you that is the most beautiful word that comes out of the mouth of a child, even though they will run you into your grave with it. Why? Why? Because everything is new to them and they need to know why. You tell them something, they're a brand new person on the earth. You tell them something, they don't know this before, so they need to know why. You need to get back to that. We need to get back to that as a people. Why? Why? When you practice that in your life, you will see change. Because I've always been that way. Why? Why is something this? Why is that? What? Why? Why? I'm always why? Why? Because when you stop to question, then you become more informed. And less shit gets past you. Because sometimes you ask why and you realize there is no reason. And then you realize that's really some unadulterated bullshit right there. Like it's just, stuff is just going on or it's just happening or being perpetuated or whatever. And there is no why. That's a real problem. So we want to always ask why. Why? And indeed, in this society, we always know there is a why. There's always some hidden motive. Some secret agenda behind anything that these people do in their society. So we need to always be questioning why. Why? Damn it. Why? So I wanted to come and bring those. And as I say, in my next piece, I want to speak about this Kennedy assassination. I was going to wait until November 22nd, but why wait? It's already November, you know. And so I want to definitely speak on that, and I want to tie that to show you how that mirrors today's politics and why those two matter right now, because they have the same effect and the same devastation and on I'm going to go. But that, and then also I will discuss any update that I have with regard to this Rodney Reed. I think that's his name. The guy I tell you it's up for execution. I'll bring any updates that I have on that as well. And I want to say also that I told you guys I haven't looked at the GoFundMe, so I told you guys that in my last video, that the video where I shouted out all the donors, and then I did another video and I said anybody that has donated after this video, then in my next video I'll shout you out. Well, I haven't looked, so I don't know. do know that the link for the GoFundMe is in the description box under this video, everybody. Go and give what you can. You don't got to be a big baller. You just give what you can. Some have more than others. Some have less than others. You just give what you can. But don't go past me and not give something. Don't. If you're on a device, you have at least 4 quarters. At least give $1. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. And I thank you so much in advance. And I love and thank all of you guys who have donated, you know, and have gotten us as far as we've gotten, but we still got a long way to go. And I need your help. I cannot do this without you. I can't. And I should also say this. I wanted to share this with you guys. You know, the money exchange rate is different. You know, like in Nigeria, the dollar is more powerful than it is in Ghana. But alas, you need to understand, like this $10,000 I'm trying to raise, that translates into $50,000 in Ghana. Then with my $10,000, now I'm $100,000. $100,000. That's a good place to start. Do you understand? When we get to a higher number on the GoFundMe, I will be more encouraged, and then you will see me begin to put forward nothing but strings and strings of videos beginning to educate you about Ghana and the continent, but also to begin to start showing you my process. You know, I'll start filming my calls to the Ghanaian embassy and people that I speak to either from Ghana or in Ghana and things like that. Just when we get to that point, but I'll also be wanting to stress to you costs, because there's stateside costs because that exchange rate doesn't happen until I'm in Africa. You see? Meanwhile, there's costs here that are real American dollar costs. You understand what I'm telling you? So I will say this to that point. You know, when I learned certainly what the exchange rate is in Nigeria, I had the following thought. I thought, you know, if I was wealthy or well-to-do even, I would find somebody in Nigeria to just send money to monthly. Because you can have a major impact on somebody. Major. What is nothing for us here, a few dollars, is a lot of money for them. I need to explore more, like, because I'm sure that's something I would still want to do, like some kind of way, like that's just a no-brainer. You can really impact somebody's life with what is not a lot for you is a lot for them. I'll talk more about that, but I'm fascinated by this idea. I'm fascinated. But anyways, as it relates to me, I'm just trying to tell you that I know that I need to have a solid economic game on the ground. And I can do well with a sum of money like this because I'm not an extravagant person. I've told you guys, my whole life I'm not into stuff. I'm not materialistic. I don't exist to have the latest anything. I can subsist on the bare minimum. So I just, you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm a coin pincher anyway by nature. I give you an example. You know, I don't know, 2012 probably. I bought my first flat screen TV. I had the money, cash, could go to any store and buy the one I wanted. It had taken me forever. Everybody has them. I didn't see any practical. I don't need it. I had a 32-inch true flat, and I thought I was killing the game. Even though it took 8 people to lift it, I was killing the game. Anyways, I ended up at Kmart finally. Found one at a really good price, a 32-inch. And I couldn't let myself buy it. I put it on layaway. Even though I had the cash in hand, I put it on layaway. Drove home. Probably 2 weeks later, I don't know how I learned or knew this or something, but anyways, it came to me, my knowledge, that you could also use this as your computer monitor. It don't just have to be a TV Jedi. You can hook your computer up to it and use it as your. I'm like, that's the answer. I can get rid of my computer desk and my damn little tiny ass computer monitor. Oh, this is the move. And so it became practical. Then I immediately went and bought it. You know, I'm just not into stuff. So a penny pincher like me can do well on a little. And so certainly something like $100,000 equivalent of $100,000 equivalent in Ghana, you know, I can survive, you know. And you know, there's that launching period. Anyways, I'll get more into that. Just there's a launch period where you are still making mistakes and finding yourself once you get there. So you have to have economics built in for money you're going to waste, and you don't know you're going to waste it, but you have to build in for waste. You see what I'm saying? So I need your help, everybody. Go and donate what you can. You know, last time I looked at it, we were almost at the halfway mark. So we got that much more to go. I need you. The link for the GoFundMe is in the description box under this video. I thank you in advance. I will see you guys all in my next video. And the last thing I'll say, I promise the last thing, I'm threatening you guys. I'm threatening a new computer. There I said it. Because all this running to the library is getting on my nerves. And just, I hate that. And I hate that I'm limited in the amount of time that I can be on the computer. But the main thing that also came to me is that I do miss you being able to have direct access to me when I would do live streams. And even when we would do our Skype sessions, you know, or Skype. So I'm going to do whatever the universe tells me. And I don't know what that's going to be yet. But I'm just letting you know my thought process has been like, maybe you need to go on and get another computer. I like I said, I just can't see spending the money. I just can't see spending money. Like every coin must be for Africa. And it all adds up. You know. So, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But I want you to know at least the thought crossed my mind, you know. Yeah. If you didn't watch the last video I put out, you must go and watch that video. You must. You must. And watch all the links that I put in the description box under it. You must. You must. You must. You must. And shout out to all of you guys who left comments on that video. Yeah. Last time I looked at it, it was like 500 something views, only 19 comments. Whatever, I'm over all y'all. I gotta tell you, I possess the knowledge that I share with you, everybody. I'm here to enrich you. You understand? To enrich you and elevate you. This is for you. So, anyways, I've spoken and I've spoken the truth. I'll see you soon.